Hey Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. What you see before you are the contents of the Baron Benz and the Aquaticons special set from Mezco, part of their 112 collective action figure line, which as you all know is my favorite action figure line in the history of toys. There was also a shirt included, but that's upstairs getting washed. So what we're going to do is take a look at the other contents of the box that came from Mezco just a couple of days ago. Now, this was offered for pre-order, I think about a month ago on the Mezco website, and I jumped on it because I'm a sucker for aquatic-themed stuff, and as you can see, Baron Benz is extremely aquatic-themed. Now, inside, like I said, there was also a shirt, and we get this cool collectible Order of the Holy Divers Baron Benz enamel pen. It's not even an enamel pen. That's just a straight up like bronze looking pen. And I don't need this little bag that's incredibly difficult to open. So we're just going to snip that thing and take a look close up at this very cool pen. I love these kind of extras, and Mezco is so good at delivering really special seeming pieces that go along with their original figures. On the back, you can see Rumble Society. This is part of Mezco's original line of characters within the 112 collective action figure line. And my theory on these is they're so great, and they're so they come with so much extra stuff for a reasonable price because they're not having to pay licensing fees to get these characters out. You also get this great gigantic Mezco Gomez. This is their mascot, Gomez. Great sticker. Comes with every order. And you get a micro Mezits minifigure. And Mezco usually does some contests and stuff with these figures. They're different colors. And this time around, I got a gold one with a little boom box. So I've got a little tiny golden Gomez with his boom box. Look at that. This is the kind of thing that makes me love Mezco so much. These guys have a window straight into my brain. I love this. And we'll just set him aside. And now it is time to get down to the business of Baron Benz. Now, before we open up this incredible packaging right here, I want to take a look at the Baron Benz and the Aquaticons comic book. This is where you have to go to see the story of Baron Benz, who was created by Mez Markowitz. The art in here is by Michael Oppenheimer. And I don't want to spoil the whole comic for you, but I will read a passage that explains who this Baron Benz character is. The last remaining Aqua Knight of the Order of the Holy Divers, beings that warred over the cosmic realm many a millennia ago. He currently travels the cosmos in between his stays on foreign worlds where he can find sanctum in the briny tides, adding to his collection of treasures and relics for reasons unknown. And then over here, you've got an old school comic book ad for things that you can actually get. As you can see, look at that. Your little mini Mezits. You can buy a bag of skulls. You can get one of their Paper People Gomez figures. This is very cool stuff. I love this. Again, these guys really know how to scratch that pop culture itch. Great looking comic. Nice extra. And now it is time to get down to business with the actual Baron Benz action figure. That does include some Aquaticons, and we'll find out what those are in just a minute. Now, the 112 collective boxes have ranged over the years. This one is obviously a deluxe style box with this golden piece on the front. On the side, you've got the Rumble Society, which again is their original line of characters. In the back, nothing too interesting there. That's A-okay. But let's open it up and see what is inside. I love this because you have a magnet. You can see the outline right there securing this front opening. And we open and get some beautiful art of Baron Benz and the Aquaticons, because I believe these anglerfish looking dudes are the Aquaticons. We're going to pull this insert out. Look how fancy pants all of this is. They really go all out with, I mean, not just with their licensed stuff. Their licensed stuff is great too, but when they're doing original properties, Mezco just swings for the fences. This is important because early on in the 112 Collective line, they didn't have these notes explaining how to take care of these figures, basically. I'm not going to read them here. You're a grown-up. You can get your own 112 Collective figure and check that out. Look at this. Fancy tissue paper. Nothing says fancy like a piece of tissue paper, in whether it be in a box or an invitation or whatever. You know you're dealing with a class act when there's a piece of tissue paper involved. Oh my goodness. Look at this guy. Now I know you can't really see him all that well yet, but what you can see is the quality of the interior packing of 112 Collective products. These trays, and there will be a few of them, secure the figure and all of the accessories in such a way that they're safe. They can be transported in a way where nothing will be damaged. You'll get no paint loss. You'll have no issues with joints being bent or stuck or anything like that. These guys take so much care with their products, and that's so important to me because they're premium products. All right, let's see how hard it is to get this out of here. All right. I'm going to set that fancy pants outer box right up there. Maybe not. I don't want to leave a gold glare distracting you guys from our main event here. So before we get to the figure, we're going to turn this interior tray, and you're going to see that there is even more. You see 3 Aquaticons right there and this great base that they can be displayed on, but then even under that, you have more stuff. You've got the base for the figure as well as the arm that allows you, and every 112 Collective figure comes with this. This arm allows you to do flight poses or just have a little more stability if the figure's just standing there. But in the case of Baron Benz, obviously he's a swimmer, so this arm is going to let us achieve some really cool poses as though he's underwater. We have a little bag of tubes, which puts me in the mind of G.I. Joe, the king of cool tubes in action figures. We'll take a look at those again in a minute. Every 112 Collective release also comes with one of these Mylar bags to store all the extra pieces in. And this is an unusual base for a 112 figure. It's usually a fairly simple logo. Here we actually have that great art of Baron Benz and the Aquaticons. Looks really, really nice. It's going to stand out on the shelf from everything else. And then finally, we'll bring this support arm out so we can take a look at it a little bit later. Now, I keep everything. This box will get stored away. Whatever I don't display with the figure will go back into that box to be kept safely here in the Phantom Zone. In the storage area of the Phantom Zone, if you will. All right, now we're popping open our second layer tray. And we've got, oh, this is interesting. This is a little cheaper than I thought it would be. This is basically a vacuum-formed piece of plastic. It's fine. It looks great. It's going to look cool behind the figure. But yeah, it's just vacuum-formed plastic. You can see, it's got a little give. It's almost like an old Halloween mask. And then right here we have one of the Aquaticons. Looks like a little biomechanical creature. Got a hinged mouth. That's great. Got that little angler light. Really a terrifying looking specimen, I gotta say. But the paint, the sculpt, the detailing. I love these translucent fins. Just an incredible design. And again, as somebody who loves aquatic themed stuff, these are absolutely great. I believe they're all the same. Yeah, and that's fine. The fact that we've got these three is just awesome. I'm going to set that tray aside. And now it is time to take a look at Baron Benz himself. Now you can see there's another Aquaticon up here with him. So you've got a total of 4 Aquaticons with this figure. I think that's great. It gives him enough to have a little army. And I'll tell you, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if you could buy like a bag of Aquaticons from Mezco at some point in the future. So one more, he's identical to the other 3, which is fine. Nice translucent fin there. Just a really awesome design. This cool staff, very clearly lots of aquatic theming here. You've got this transparent blue blade. Great sculpt. I love the way that the haft has these ridges in it. It looks like it's made to be held and sort of twirled around. Cool hook on the end. Again, a very sort of aquatic, hooks. We think of that when we think of the ocean, when we think of ocean life. Just looks great. Now what we've got here is an alternate head themed to go, or to look like, well, you know what? I thought this was supposed to look like Gomez, but it's actually more of a just sort of general tentacle type of thing going on. This is just an original design, and you know what? This might be the head that I end up using on this guy. I really dig this. It's a different, cool look. Here we have another piece of Baron Ben's arsenal. This golden anchor looks absolutely amazing. Look at the detail on this thing, the sculpt, the paint. Again, this is a premium, top-notch, collector-oriented action figure line. And as you can see, they know their stuff. This is a die-cast chain. This is not a sculpted, shaped piece of plastic. This is a die-cast chain that you're going to be able to give to this character to hold. It's going to look great on the shelf, just hanging down, swinging. This is the type of stuff that puts Mezco over the top, in my opinion. I love this piece. Got some extra hands in here. A few less than some other releases have, but really, how many hands do you need for this undersea warrior? I'm thinking 6 is going to get the job done. You got a couple of grabbing hands here. Mezco always has that cool design where you've got a little bit of leeway, a little bit of flex. There's never those fingers are never going to be attached to that thumb so that you have to struggle to get anything through that hand. And finally, kids, do not eat desiccant. It's terrible for you. It's literally fatal, I think. Now, let's get Baron Benz out of here and take a look at him. I love the simplicity of this design. He isn't overly complicated, but where he does have detail, it's just fantastic. All these little nodules all over. Such a great look. Very, very Jack Kirby, I think. Look at the gloss on his visor right there. He's got this cool piece right here that's sort of a pleathery material that connects this collar to the helmet. On the back, we've got this little weird exhaust port right here. This is somewhat reminiscent of the spacesuits from Alien. There's a little bit of Mobius in here as well. Just so many classic influences in this figure, and you can see the little nodules here on his belt. All those hoses I pulled out a minute ago, and we're not going to sit here in the video and put all this stuff together because you're just here to take a look at this guy. You're not here to suffer with me as I try to figure out how to assemble him. But all of those hoses are going to plug into these nodules, these points, and he's going to have this great look. Oh, man. Just absolutely tremendous. This tall, weird helmet with, I'm assuming these are light ports here. Another nodule in the back here. Just so much sculpted detail. His suit is a sturdy feel. It's obviously it's not a spandex. It's a sturdy feeling material with a nice texture to it. The boots are thick and heavy with the sculpted detail of sort of a fabric right there. So they look flexible, like they look like he'd be able to walk around in them. Now, here is, you can see we've got a nice double jointed knee right there. Those elbows, a little restricted by the pieces of armor, but the elbows are also double jointed. You've got movement with the shoulder back and forth, up and down, right there, that torso. Big range of movement on that. The head. Articulation on these is part of that premium cost. But my biggest issue with most of the 112 releases are the ankles barely have any movement at all. And I don't think this guy would be doing a lot of squatting. He's not Spider-Man, so that's okay. But I wish, as much brilliant stuff as Mezco has managed to create and innovate and come up with, I do wish they could figure out a way to get their ankles a little more range of movement. So this guy, absolutely beautiful. Let's switch the heads out and see what he looks like with that crazy tentacle head. Pops right off, no problem at all. You can see just a simple ball and socket. So that one pops right on. I love that look. That's very cool. But I almost want another one of this guy so I could display them both. Because as striking and unique as this helmet is, to me, this one feels like the character. This feels like what Baron Benz is supposed to look like. You can see right here, those hoses are going to plug in here and here. And I'll probably throw a picture. Well, I will. I'll throw a picture in at the end of the video so you can see this guy fully assembled on his base. But that just, again, I don't want to sit here and do that stuff live on video. All of these pieces move. Nothing is restricting. You can see that moves up a little bit so you can get that shoulder up. The hands switch out very easily. Again, just a simple peg hole situation. And we'll throw his grasping hand on. Plugs right in, no problem. And thanks to the soft rubber of the hands, we can put that staff right in that hand and it'll snug right back up. And he can hold that looking like the badass warrior of the oceans that he is. Just really a striking, unique, awesome action figure. I love original ideas and original properties being represented in 3D form. I wish we could see more of it, but I understand the public likes their Spider-Mans and Supermans and Batmans, and I do too. But things like this are what make it so special to be a toy collector. And in the modern age, the fact that we can get something like this is just amazing to me. So thanks for watching, you guys. New unboxings every single week. Please follow the Needless Things podcast every single Friday. You can get it wherever you find your podcasts. And take a look at these cool pictures that I'm throwing on at the end of the video here.